Welcome back, everybody. So, my next movie review is Birds of Prey. So, Birds of Prey was directed by Kathy Yang. It was made on a budget of 84.5 million pounds. It has a cast. It consists of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Junie Smollett, Smollett, Belle as Black Canary. I'm sorry, I do struggle with that name. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. We got Mary Elizabeth Winstead as a huntress, plus many others. So, in this Bird of Prey movie, we see Harley Quinn, after an explosive breakup with the Joker, has a whacking great big basically target on the back of her head because she has no protection from the Joker anymore, and she basically becomes on the hunted list from a mob boss called Black Mask, plus many other nasty characters in Gotham. Now, I know this movie came out a couple of months ago. I think it was back in February, possibly in January, February time, and it's taken me this long to actually watch it. Why it's taking me this long to actually watch it, I have no idea, because it was the most entertaining 1 hour 50 minutes I've had for a very long time. Okay, and I'm not over exaggerating on this one as well. This is my own personal opinion of this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It is quite a fast paced movie, which just, it was. There are a few little problems with this movie, I have to be honest with you. But as a whole, as a general, I actually really enjoyed it. And here's the reasons why. One, this movie takes more of a darker tone. It's a little bit more brutal, and it's mainly made for adults. There are some reasonably brutal death scenes in here. There is quite a lot of strong language in this, which I generally like because it's more of a darker feel to the Batman universe. Batman is only mentioned once in this whole movie, which is actually okay. I'm okay with. Yes, I am a huge Batman fan, but I'm okay with the fact that one, he's not in this and he only gets mentioned once. Like I said, it follows a very darker kind of road, this movie. Again, there is a reason why I enjoy this. It's because there is a darker universe to the Batman um, movies, or it's just there is just a darker universe to this character and to this universe in general. There have been animated cartoons that come out which are quite dark, The Killing Joke being one of them. I've got a poster up here, plus other animated movies. Also, we also had the kind of origin story to the Joker back at the end of last year, which followed a very, very dark tone. The Batman universe is a dark universe. It's, yes, we've had movies, as in the Michael Keaton Batman movies, the two of them, Batman Returns, which are quite dark, which have some very dark material in them. We also got Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, which are not that good and follow very much a comic book child. It's mainly aimed at the kind of child universe, which, yes, they are crap movies, but when I was a child, yes, I actually can hold my hands up and say I actually enjoyed them because I was a kid. I didn't know the universe that well, and I didn't really understand exactly how bad these movies were when they first come out. It wasn't until later I found out that there is a darker universe to the Batman. And this is another classic example because this is kind of what I want in these Batman movies. I want them to be dark. Yes, okay, you've got the Chris Nolan ones, which are made pretty much for all, but it's not what I personally, this is just my personal opinion, always want to see, because there is a dark side to this. It does follow quite dark content. Some of the villains are very, very dark with some very dark backstories, and they are sadistical and all that. And in these kind of movies, especially like the Joker origin story and this one, Birds of Prey, you actually get to see that in this movie, which is something that I enjoyed a lot. And in this movie, like I said, there are some not graphic moments, but there are some brutal death scenes. There is quite a lot of strong language in this. It didn't spoil this movie for me. It just emphasised the fact that I enjoy this darker side of this universe by quite a lot. Now that's that bit done. That's one reason why I enjoyed this movie. The second reason why I enjoyed this movie is how I wasn't bored throughout the whole of this movie. It is quite fast paced. There are little bits which are just, you get to a certain point and then it rewinds, and that is kind of like one of the problems I find with this movie is that you start following something and then it just stops and then it gives you the backstory to why this is happening. I kind of liked it, and I kind of didn't like it as well because you start moving forward and then you get shot backwards a little bit, and then you go back to it, and it just felt just a tiny little bit off. I'm not saying it spoiled the movie; it's just it was done a little bit too much, in my personal opinion. Action sequences in this I actually seriously did enjoy from all the characters as well in this. It's mainly Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn character in here. She is absolutely fantastic. Some of the fight sequences she does in here, it's absolutely brilliant. It's very well choreographed fight work there, which I seriously did enjoy. It's exactly the same from Black Canary as well in this one. Really good. Really enjoyed her character. I think they kind of failed to show her true potential in this movie. I have to be honest. You do get to see snippets of this, but she is pretty much a badass. And to be honest, I think I personally think they failed to capitalize on her character here, just a little bit. There are certain elements in there that I really did enjoy. It's exactly the same as a Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I think that's how you say her name. I generally liked her character, but they failed to capitalize on her a little bit. Even though when she does appear, she is again a badass in this. It's absolutely fantastic. And we also got the cop that's in there. She is also badass as well, but again, you don't really get to see her true potential as well. I get that this movie is mainly focused around Harley Quinn, and this is the reason why I enjoyed this movie as well, because of her fight sequences in this movie. There's a few of them, and they are all pretty damn good, and some of them are quite brutal. I generally love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn as well. I really do. Ewan McGregor's character in this one as Black Mask, I'm really not 100% sure of them. I know the backstory to Black Mask in the Batman universe, and I just wasn't 100% sure. And I don't think Ewan McGregor was possibly one of the best people to play him. The problem I had with him, he was like a flip side. He was almost reminded me of a Two-Face. Um, One minute he would be like this all kind of big jokey person, and then all of a sudden on a flick of a switch he'd turn into this angry, really nasty kind of mob boss. It's kind of how I know him a little bit, but I think the comedic moments from him in this, yeah, okay, they were all right, but they weren't. The Black Mask is a very brutal person, to be fair, that doesn't really care about a lot, and yes, you do get to see that in this movie, and you do. But there was quite a few. There was a few too many comedic moments with him in this. I think there was that balance, and I think the comedic overweighed the other side of it. And that's just what I can get from this. I mean, I'd have to watch it again to be like properly sure on that. And then it does move me on to like the comedic element in this. Some of them I found funny. Other bits I didn't find funny. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. It was a bit of a mishmash on this one, and it's just how I personally feel with this. I think there were bits in here where I was actually like, yeah, and then it's like, okay, it was just a bit like that. I'm not saying it wasn't enough to spoil the movie for me in any way, shape, or form. Other bits that I liked in this movie, there's quite a lot. Like I said, it's quite fast paced. The only downside with that is the fact that you start moving forward through the movie and then they fly straight back about a week or 2 or 3 days. So once you start really getting a grasp of what's going on, they shoot it back, which I get there just explaining the story in their own way. I just think it was done just a little bit too much, to be honest with you. But I also get why they were doing this as well. So it's not a huge bugbear for me. It's just I didn't want to see it as much as such. I just wanted to, because you get that feel of progression through the movie, and then it just shoots you straight back, which is still progression of the movie, and it's filling in the gaps. I get it, but I just felt like it was done a bit too much. Again, wasn't enough for me to spoil the movie. Storyline in this movie is well. It's not hard to follow in any way, shape, or form. It is a little bit predictable. I have to be honest. I have to hold my hands up on that. I kind of figured out how this movie was going to go. Um, pretty early on, to be honest. But then again, in a certain way, they did kind of set it up a little bit like that, and then you could just enjoy what you were watching, which was, I have to be honest with you, quite entertaining. All of these things. Oh, and it comes with an absolutely cracking soundtrack that was in this movie as well. Some of the music that was chosen to play in this is absolutely fantastic. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really, really enjoyed that. I love the colouring in this. I like the way it was shot. Like I said, I like the fight sequences in this movie. It just made it a very, very entertaining movie for me. I like the darker kind of tone to this. I like the brutality of the kills that are in this. Excuse me, I'm talking too much. Um, and all that. And there's just, it was a lot better than what I was thinking. Now, I read on IMDb that they gave this a rating of about 6.5. If I was to rate this, I would give this a 7.5, possibly even an 8. There are certain things in this movie just felt a little bit off in certain places. Some of the comedic moments were off. The storytelling in this was just. I got a tickle. I had nothing to drink for like half an hour. So anyway, going back to what I was saying. What was I saying? There's certain bits felt it. The storytelling just felt a little bit off. It was the one moment being in the real time and then rewinding back a bit too much for me. I know it only happened a few times, but you start getting into what's going on and what's going to be happening, and then they shoot you straight back, and you just like go, "Oh, why did you do that?" But then again, it explains it. It all works. Like I said, it's not enough for it to spoil the movie for me in any way, shape, or form. Honestly, I do highly recommend this as a movie. I do rate this between a 7 and 8 out of 10. It's not a bad movie. It's entertaining. If anything, it is a very good action kind of movie. All the characters in there, especially the main female characters in there, are absolutely superb. Mainly Margot Robbie, um, Junie's Black Canary's performance in here as well was actually really good. Exactly the same as Huntress and the police officer, which I can't remember her name now. Montoya, I think it's something like that. Even Black Mask, Ewan McGregor's. There was something off there. It was just something really off for me, for him. I'm not saying it was bad, it was just something really off for me. But as a whole, as a general, I did find it a very entertaining watch with some cracking fight scenes. I like the colouring, I like the soundtrack, I like the darker kind of tone and feel to this, which just made it a very entertaining watch for me. Like I said, I'd give this a strong 7, 8 out of 10, and I would recommend this to anybody, and I would quite happily sit down and watch this movie again without a shadow of a doubt, because I'm sure there's some bits in there that I missed. So on that note, if you've seen this movie, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.